fine light in the beautiful sea. I chose to be happy. You and I, we're like diamonds in the sky. You're a shooting star, I see, a vision of ecstasy. When you hold me, I'm alive. We're like diamonds in the sky.
So what's up, YouTube? Hey, in this video I want to talk about making money in the Philippines, a simple way. And especially if you met a Filipina that's in the province. You know, when I met Dexel years ago, the only thing she ever wanted to do was provide, get a decent income. And if any of you are familiar and you're just started dating a Filipina, it's tough down there. You know, average rates, this is just on my island, Negros Oriental, down in the province, you know, Humalato, Tayasan. A lot of people, 190 peso a day, 200, some construction workers, 300 to 400 peso per day. So anyways, I'm going to talk about the piggery in farming. We've been successful, or my wife has been successful, and I actually love it. The pigs are cool. You know, in this video, I'm going to break down some of the prices and how you have to do it. And I'll show you a couple little videos here, how they come and they pick up the pigs and explain a little bit. So with the piggery, you're going to have to get a swine. And the best thing to do is, it's a no-brainer, especially if your wife or her parents, they got some property. You can build a septic tank, very cheap. Build some nice, cool, simple pig stalls. You could start off with the bamboo railings. Just keep it simple, basic in the beginning. Make sure you have the septic, water. You know, get some of the water tanks. But you know, the breakdown on the pigs, how much you can make. Like I said, you can double. You're going to double your money, or triple. So for example, right now, in this video, I'll show you how they come to the house and they're going to take away a pig and they're going to take it right to the direct market, whatever one we want. We have a bunch on hand. We can call any one. And what they're going to do is they're going to butcher the pig. Dexel's going to meet them in the morning. They're going to weigh it in front of you. So on this pig right here, once it's killed, they drain the blood. Meat on the table came out to 57.5 kilo. So if you want that in pounds, multiply it by 2.2. So you got 57.5. And they're going to multiply that. We're getting 280 peso per kilo. It came out to 16,100 peso. So we had 7,400 peso into this pig. The feeds, and we also include the swine. Each litter we divide by, because you have to feed those swines and you got to keep them pregnant. So the swine cost you money. So leftover was like 8,400 peso, which comes out to $158 USD. $158 USD off of one pig. You know, and you got to remember, we have 3 swines, we'll be having 5 swines here soon. You're going to have about 2.5 litters a year. I just break it down to like 2.5. It's a decent income. You know, some pigs, they can have litters, let's say average, we've had anywhere from 8 to, you can have up to 16. It depends how many nipples the swine has. But like I said, we've never had a problem. My wife loves it. The only problem is we wish we had more land, have more swines, you know. You know, it'd be nice if she had 20 swines right now, you know, and you got all the pig stalls. It's very cheap, especially if you got the property, and it's a cool business. You know, it's actually, you know, I'm a carpenter contractor my whole life, and it's something different, but it's something I could do. You know, the pigs are cool, especially the swines. They get to know you. They're pets. But like I said, now this pig that we just sold, we could wait longer. We could grow it another month, maybe. Then it would be 57.5 on the table. You know, maybe 77, 87. But you're paying a little bit more in feeds, but you're still making the profit. What we do is, because we have 2 litters coming. We got 2 swines that are pregnant, so we know we're having litters come. So what we're doing is we're selling off a few of the bigger ones. Granted, this one, we could have went a little bit bigger, but the price of meat's up. Hey, she made 158 bucks. There's another one that just went down that she sold, was right around the same weight, and they just took another one. And then we're going to keep, I believe it's 3 more, grow them a little bit longer, maybe about another 3 weeks, because we got feeds. You want to use up the feeds. You know, at the end we give them, it's called finisher. It makes the meat more leaner. Supposed to make them heavier or whatever. So we kind of want to burn up those feeds so they don't sit around. And if any of you know, or you've lived in the Philippines, is you don't want a lot of stuff sitting around. You know, we have all our feed stacked right. We have cats on the premise. There is rats. It's a tropical country. Animals can get in, cause a hole, and damage the feeds. You know, so, but man, it's a cool business. I love it. It keeps my wife busy. And I look back, a lot of some of the other relatives, you know, when we started that store, were like, they didn't want to say nothing because it was looking cool. Maybe we had this other idea, but they just kind of laughed and said, you should have stuck with your pigs. And here's the thing. When we were starting the store, the swine flu hit. So a lot of you down there, you might have seen on the news where, especially in Cebu, they were coming in and they were killing pigs off to eliminate the swine flu. So then they were pulling the crap over on Negros Oriental. Deep in the mountains, I think they found a piggery that was carrying the swine flu. So they obviously got to kill them, bury them. But then what they do is these buyers come around and scare the people, and they want you to sell the pigs to them for cheap, so then they can ship them over to Manila, to Cebu. You know, it's business, and that's like I told Dexel. So what we did is we tell them, no, we're not going to sell none. I think we kept about 9 or 10 pigs, and we concentrated on the store, but we didn't get our swines pregnant. So we're in the process right now where Dexel's just getting going again, and it is kind of cool farming. I mean, I wouldn't do farming over here in the United States. I would stick with, you know, I'm going to stick with the framing, you know, building, additions, decks, whatever, new construction. But over there, especially if you have a house and you got property, man, I'm telling you, you know, and then you'll get some of these trolls saying, oh, it's not worth it. Your Filipina's going to want to make money. She's going to want to stay busy. My wife is a hard worker. So are the kids. I'll give them that. They are phenomenal. And, you know, that's all she wants to do is work and provide. So I told her someday you will. When you get over here to America, you can get a decent job and start working, and you'll see, you know. The province life, though, in the farming, it's kind of cool. Like, you're right at the house. You go feed them in the morning, water, clean the stalls, afternoon, water, evening, feed them, maybe clean the stalls up again, and they sleep all night. You know, feeding time can get pretty loud. I think there was a time we had, man, I don't know if it was 30 pigs, you know, and they were a good 70 kilo. It gets kind of loud, but as soon as you feed them, they calm down, and they sleep all night, you know. I've never gotten really woken up by the pigs. And then the smell, if you clean them, I mean, we have a piggery hooked up to the house. We got a beautiful front porch. It doesn't smell. You know, once in a while there might be like, you smell, but it's nothing like that. Chicken poop, you know, they're not loud like the roosters, but I'm telling you, and here's the thing, if you're gonna, there is risks in farming when you first start. Whenever you first start a business, there's risk. So if you start off with one swine, you get it pregnant, maybe its first litter you're expecting, you know, it's got 14 nipples, you know, you want 12 piglets, but the first birth, it only gives a couple come out dead, you got a couple live ones, maybe you only get 5 or 6. That could happen. And then eventually, you know, they're going to have litters where, you know, you got 10, 12, 14 piglets. You know, the more piglets, the more money you make. So I suggest maybe starting off with 2 swines. And it's going to take 9 months. Do not start them at 6 months. Give them 9 to 10 months to grow before you get them pregnant. And the litters, in the long run, they're going to have better litters. I see it too often. People want to get it pregnant at 5, 6 months. The litters come out, maybe they get 1 or 2 pigs, all the piglets are coming out dead. Time and time again, I've seen that. So, anyways, I'm getting kind of excited. I got to head over there pretty soon. And, you know, it's just something to think about. It's a no-brainer that your Filipinas at the house. Because most of them don't want to travel. Like mine, she don't want to go out of the house. Like, she'll send the kids to go get certain stuff at the store. Rarely does she go out. You know, the kids will go pay the electricity bill. She likes staying right at the house. She never leaves. And I'm telling you, it's a decent investment, farming. You know, even if you got your own cows, the chickens, the broiler chickens, the chickens, you know, where you can get eggs. Eggs is a big problem down there, you know. The only thing is, if you got chickens, we were going to invest in that. We don't have the land. You need land to keep them far away because it's very, very smelly. You know, the chickens, very smelly and bring flies. But like I said, it's not for everyone. But I find it interesting. It's pretty cool. You know, I just wish, like I said, we had more swines. She had more property. But like I said, if any of you guys are following the channel, I'm not interested, and my wife isn't either, to buy property down there. We just don't. Seems like one thing after another. Stay tuned. My next video coming up. I have a court date down there. And what's that saying? When it starts to something starts to smell like shit, it probably is. There's something goofy going on right now. So stay tuned to that one. It's like never ending. But I promise I want to get down there and do some cool vlogs, get to some cool areas that nobody blogged, deeper in the mountains. I got a couple sites, you know, kind of actually doing a camping trip, which will be kind of cool. So thanks for all the new subscribers. And like I said, I still love the Philippines. It's just, I'm just telling you the hard, honest truth as me, coming from where I live. It's, you know, it's advantages and disadvantages. You know, and that's all. But the piggery is a great business, a very, very good business. So anyways, stay tuned for the next video. And like I said, I'll be over in the Philippines here real soon. Real soon. Thanks.